TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Zyman, your State Farm insurance agent. Scott can help you save money bundling your home and auto insurance. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Zyman and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. For delivery or pickup, call 815-758-8116 or go to pizzavilla.com. My Insurance Guys in Sycamore, family owned, local, reliable. My Insurance Guys cover Medicare to auto and everything in between. Call us in Sycamore at 815-899-0950. My Insurance Guy, business, auto, home, life, and health at myinsuranceguy.com. And Eldercare Services of DeKalb County, safe, secure, and supported, helping you stay at home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdekalb.org.
Welcome into TD Ryan Unleashed News Podcast number 25. Running just solo, myself, and of course the Oak Tree of the news department, Dan Lynch, join us. Dan, how you doing, my friend?
Better than I deserve.
I heard that somewhere before. We were going to have Christopher Mitchell on. Christopher Mitchell, really neat guy. He owns MVP Sports in Sycamore, if you know that, and a couple other businesses as well. Plus, he's going to school in Northern, just a great guy. He records the city council meetings there in Sycamore. You know, Dan and I talked about this in DeKalb. Of course, they record the city council meetings and they put them on YouTube, and I've been watching them there, and I know a lot of city council people that can't make it to the meetings do it that way. But Sycamore didn't have that set up, and so Chris took it upon himself to go there and ask permission to videotape the city council meetings and puts it on YouTube for people.
Okay, yes, Sycamore is a lot different than DeKalb.
It is.
In a lot of ways. But there were the officials in both towns were a lot of fun to work with, and they were always very gracious to me as a reporter. But it was very different. DeKalb, very sleek setup, and they got this awesome website, and you get all the audio. And it's,
Right.
But Sycamore, it's a little more like the old days where you gotta get in there and set up two recorders to get all the audio, which I've done.
Okay.
And but you know, it was kind of small townish.
I like it. I know. But it's great that people can, if they want to participate, they say, well, we don't know what goes on at these meetings. You can literally watch what goes on at the meetings. I mean, that's really neat.
Thanks to this gentleman.
Yeah. So thanks, Chris, for that. Chris Mitchell. We'll have him on in a future broadcast. We're looking
I've
forward to that.
had a pint at that place before.
All right, it's funny because we were getting together. He says, "Man, we get together to have a pint." And I thought, maybe like I was on the old side there in Ireland. All right, so you got some hard hitting stories. I got some lighter, fluffer stuff, and let's switch back and forth. Let's start with the hard stuff with you. What do you got there?
DeKalb man facing a hate crime charge after uttering a slur at a cop. According to arrest documents, on November 13th, police were called to a home in the 1400 block of North 14th just before 5 p.m. Due to burning leaves.
Oh, boy.
Documents say a male was setting leaves on fire and then throwing them in the street.
Oh.
Police had responded to similar complaints about this person in the past. Reports say 48-year-old Ken Brady approached the officers aggressively while swinging a metal pipe and threatened them.
Wow.
When an officer removed some of the leaves from the street, Brady hurled a racial slur and threw the pipe at the officer.
Wow.
Brady then ran into his house before officers could arrest him. He eventually came out of his house and was arrested. He was charged with 2 Class 4 felonies, aggravated assault, and a hate crime. He called him an effing...
Wow. And it really gets scary when they run in the house like that because you don't know if he's going in there to get a gun or what he's doing. You know.
True.
So thank God he came out again. But
And this was at...
that's not too far from my house there on 10th Street. You said 14th Street, that was? Street?
Yeah, so I was thinking near Jewel?
Yeah,
Is that
right
near
over there by
Jewel?
Jewel. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I came clean a couple of weeks ago on one of our podcasts that I had been corralled or reprimanded for burning leaves. I was burning leaves, and they were kind of wet, and there was a lot of smoke, and I should not have done it. And I was upset because they sent a fire truck and then another truck there, and my neighbor, Jamie, had come over, and he already had a hose. He knew they were there for that, and he put my fire out before the firemen even got there. But I realized I was putting a lot of smoke in the air, and a lot of people complained about it, so I came clean, and I felt bad that the fire department had to come out and with the truck to put the fire out. My neighbor just did it with the hose, but
Do you recall if it was particularly dry when you did that?
no, it was wet. See, that's why the leaves were wet and there was a lot of smoke. And I get this thought in my head that if I could just burn all these leaves, I'm going to burn them all. And I put the wet pile on there, and all the smoke would come up. And
Oh,
so the neighbors, and more than one neighbor called. So, and I've had several fires since then. So it was just the leaves, the burning, and putting all that smoke in the air. It sounds like this guy has done this more than once.
yeah. But then, pushing him in the road.
Yeah.
In DeKalb, they want you to put the leaves this time of year right on the berm.
Yeah, on the parkway there. You can see,
Parkway, the
my
terrace.
neighborhood, I see them, and everybody's got them in the gutters, and I'm like, what's going to happen when it rains? All the leaves go down into the sewer. That's what our sewer gets clogged because all the people have the leaves in the street.
Yeah.
And nobody can seem to get that. But I don't want to be that person and go and knock on the door and say, hey, those leaves are supposed to be on the parkway,
Yes.
not in the gutter there. But we'll leave that alone because I don't want to. I am very excited. I have some news about the podcast here as we take a moment. As we speak, Dan, we just went to 5,000 views on YouTube. So we don't thank our listeners enough, or our viewers, I guess, in this case, but we have just reached 5,000 views on YouTube. So very excited about that.
Congratulations.
I want to thank all the people that have been with us and following us. And, we had Jerry Smith on here, the former mayor of DeKalb, saying there's a news hole in this area. And you and I are trying to fill that news hole as best we can. So.
Yeah.
And I think it's better that you and I can have a news maker on this show, somebody who's making the news as we speak. And we're going to have John Walker on, so we're going to have a story here. We're getting to John Walker in a minute. But, it's great that we have the local politicians, the people that are making the news, on with us as well. So,
Right.
all right. So
absolutely.
On a fluffier note, you and I were talking about this. You heard about this, but didn't have it. Deputies say a man drank tequila at the site of a crash. An Elgin man was charged Thursday after authorities said his SUV crashed into a cornfield east of Sycamore. When they responded to the crash, he drank out of an open tequila bottle in front of the sheriff's department. Jose Gutierrez, 64, was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, improper lane usage, and possession of open alcohol by a driver, according to a news release from the DeKalb Sheriff's Office. So I guess once you've gone that far.
So was Jose drinking Jose?
Yes, I think he was. They don't actually say. Sheriff's Department said they responded to a call on the crash of Old State and East County Line roads about 10 a.m. on Thursday. So this is 10 a.m. in the morning. Found his Buick in the cornfield. The driver, whom authority identified as Gutierrez, was still in the SUV. Sycamore paramedics attempted to remove him from the vehicle. Gutierrez spoke to the deputy, said he began to drink out of an open bottle of tequila while still in control of his vehicle, according to the sheriff's office. Paramedics took him to Northwestern Medical Hospital, where he was later released and given notice to appear in court on charges. So, I guess once you have a DUI, is it what the hell? Just have another hit? Here, I see people doing that, or a guy getting busted with weed and takes take one last big hit off of that before you're going to get busted. But
I guess he got his money's worth.
yeah. Well, I told you that story about my brother's friend in Delavan. People know Delavan, Wisconsin. And there's one train track that goes through there. It was after closing time. And, of course, he's got an open beverage with him and stops for the train, puts it in park, puts the beer in his lap, and falls asleep.
Oh.
And, of course, the Delavan police get him for open intoxicants and, driving while intoxicated, creating a distraction. He got like 5 or 6 tickets, falling asleep at the train tracks with the open beer in his lap, So
No kidding.
you get what you deserve, I guess.
Now, the old timers tell me that in the 70s, maybe, if you got caught drinking a beer, it was like getting a speeding ticket.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a couple stories in the 80s when I was drinking rather heavily. Had a buddy who's a Marine, and twice I got pulled over, which probably would have resulted in a DUI. And my buddy, the Marine, who has a Marine tattoo, came out, and the guy said, oh, and then they talked about Marine. Oh, what division were you in, whatever. And he goes, you okay to drive? And, of course, he says yes. And he let him drive home. And that happened twice, where I had 2 ex-Marines that had pulled me over, talked to my buddy, the Marine, and he said, are you okay to drive? Never checking him at all, never doing any tests on him at all. It said, took it from one Marine to another. You okay? All right, you drive home. So, and the one time where, you're getting me to digress here, but we have time. I was at my buddy's house. We used to party at my friend's house, him and his wife. He was the only one married in our group at the time. And we'd sleep over there and party all night. And so she just had it one night and said, kicked us all out about 1 o'clock. So we're all heavily intoxicated. So we tried to sleep in the driveway. We attempted to sleep in the driveway, at which point she came but started pounding on our car, which got the neighbors going, and so that she wanted us off the property completely. And I'm like, I'm completely hammered. So I go to drive out there, and we get maybe 3 or 4 blocks, and that's when we got pulled over. It was the first time I got pulled over with my Marine buddy, and he got me out of that ticket with the being the Marine.
Are you allowed back in Delavan?
Not really. Well, my brother has a great story. While we're talking about, he had the bar up there, and he had kind of a run-in with one of the local sheriff's officers there. So it's 2:00 time, and my time for Ryan's pub to close, and so my brother's closing, and he knows my brother's been drinking, so my brother's going to walk home. He's going to fool the sheriff and walk home. So he gets a 6-pack and hooks it to his belt. And he's going to walk. It's about 2.5 miles to our house, and the cop immediately lights up the lights, and he had been walking on the street, and I guess it's illegal to walk on the street with an open intoxicant, at least in Delavan, Wisconsin. Yes, he pulled him over, took him in for that one as well too. My brother thought he had a beat. He was going to walk home.
Is that Walworth County?
Walworth County, very good. Yeah.
Or Woolworth? Or...
Yeah. All right, back to the serious news.
DeKalb City Councilors approved 5 farm lease agreements last week for 318 acres of land at Taylor Municipal Airport for up to 3 years. The leases cover 19 larger parcels and several smaller parcels near the airport, with Halverson Farms awarded the primary lease at $91,000 a year annually, just over.
Okay.
Smaller parcels were leased to other local farmers and groups. At the same time, the managers of those leases include Thomas Weishar Farms, DeKalb Community School District, 428, their
FFA program.
Their FFA program, Larson Grain Farms, and Deal Farms, LLC. So the leases are determined through a bid process and replace the previous agreements that will expire in February.
Oh, what a neat concept there. So there's like little sublots, little sub-farms there, huh?
Yeah, and a little extra income.
Yeah, I never thought about the FFA program. They got to have some property to do that on. And
True.
There you go. That's cool. Rockies, Casey's, and other stores failed the tobacco compliance check. This seems so. You talk about the 70s. This seems like the 70s and 80s to me. But I guess I don't know. I know a lot less kids are. I think a lot less kids are smoking cigarettes. But businesses that receive ordinance violations include Rockies Mini Mart, Casey's on East Lincoln Highway, Husky's Discount Liquors, SAV Marketplace, the Smoke Shop, Citgo on Lincoln Highway, Dollar General, 7-Eleven, and Marathon. So they still do that. Remember, we talked to Chief Bird about this, where you have a decoy, right, go in. It's a younger person, but they buy the cigarettes and then see if they get carded.
Yeah, it's...
It seems to ebb and flow. For a while there, people were really strict about it.
The people on the hook are the clerks.
Yeah, right. Even though, right, so it's not the business that gets the fine, it's the clerk, right, that actually did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably bad publicity for the business. But I guess when you're hired in that situation, when you take the TIPS certification class, it's on you.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, and for some time, bartenders, you can go to jail.
Yeah. You and I both bartended. We know that rule there in terms of, somebody comes in intoxicated, you keep serving them, and then you take on that responsibility. It's,
yeah, or if they walk into your joint and not even have a drink, and they're 3 sheets to the wind and then leave, you still can get sued.
Yeah.
So
be careful with that. So again, the compliance, you got to get that compliance. I don't even know what a pack of cigarettes costs. I always talk about my brother Bobby, just talking about back in Delavan there. He worked at the Marathon gas station. It was 49 cents for a gallon of gas and 49 cents for a pack of smokes. And I think they're at least $7.50, if not $8 now, right? You think that would dissuade people from smoking? Is that what you know?
Yeah, and I am surprised when I see someone smoke.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't see it in the movies or TV shows anymore.
Yeah, remember Johnny Carson? Johnny was always smoking. Johnny always had the smokes there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
we used to smoke in planes and stuff. I told somebody, my grandson the other day, that we smoked in planes. He didn't believe me. I go, yeah, we actually smoked in planes. It was like...
yeah, or you go to Wrigley Field or Comiskey and you'd see a big Winston ad.
Right.
So maybe you still do. Do you still see that?
I don't think so.
I don't...
I think you're going to say the cigar smoke. Remember as you walked into Wrigley Field, you get that freshly cut grass and that cigar smoke. Inevitably, somebody had a cigar going.
Yeah.
It's part of the smell.
I was at the Bulls game recently, and it's FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yeah.
Different votes.
Yeah, gambling during the game, why not? So this was an article from November 17th in the Daily Chronicle. We want to thank the Daily Chronicle, by the way, for the sponsor for coverage of the Let's Talk Turkey, which is we're recording this the day before that here, Dan. But we want to thank for the nice articles in the Midweek and the Daily Chronicle about that Let's Talk Turkey. This was an article, it's called It's Going to Take a Village to Save a Village. DeKalb Northside residents talk concerns with local leaders. DeKalb official residents say area youth needs more engaging things to do. Now, how many times have we heard that, Dan? That goes back to the 50s, right? Idle hands is a devil's workshop, and you got kids after school. It's that period from 2:30 to 5 o'clock where if they don't have anything to do, they're going to get into trouble, right? Or find a way to get in trouble. As I know we did. I can testify to that. But they had this meeting, and a lot of people showed up. A lot of big hitters showed up. They had DeKalb Mayor Cohen Barnes was there. City Second Ward Alderman Barb Larson was there. The Community Service Coordinator Jennifer Yoakum was there. Chief David Bird, Police Chief David Bird, DeKalb School District 428 member Nick Atwood, and DeKalb County Board member Meryl Domena and Ruskia Crawford were there. During the meeting, residents raised concern about a number of issues, including safety and security, food insecurity, and lack of healthy activities. But again, they didn't really, nothing was really resolved here. One person speaking, they need more activities for use when they get out of school, not to babysit them, but to make them feel comfortable and keep them out of trouble. A common sentiment shared during the meeting is that communication to University Village residents needs improvement. But that's on University Village, right? That's on the. Do you realize that over 500 people live there? I didn't realize that.
I don't understand. Look, if you're going to have children, you have to raise them.
Right. Somebody praise it. Here, this is a person talking at the meeting. I know everything is not the city's fault. We can't control this. At the end of the day, they need to start cracking down on those parents with those kids out there. And that's right. Yeah, we start with the parents, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
Now, the Boys and Girls Club, TD, that's their niche or niche. Is that time after 3 o'clock and before 5 o'clock when people get off of work. As I understand it, Boys and Girls. So is there a Boys and Girls Club?
I don't know. I remember Denzel Washington. I can see him now doing a commercial for a Boys and Girls Club that said, "Hey, save him as a youth."
Yeah, and it was real handy. I've lived in towns that have had Boys and Girls Clubs, and it's real handy for people in that's working 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. So from 2:45 to 4:45, your kid is at the Boys and Girls Club. Right, you're playing basketball,
right, safe and doing something healthy. Boy, you can't beat that. Yeah. So I know a lot of programs in the area like that. I correct myself. University Village has more than 500 apartments, so easily probably at least 1,000 people there. It's a privately owned, federally subsidized residential complex on the city's northwest side. Now, John Walker, again, who's been on this show, just a great guy, an alderman here in DeKalb, was invited to go along, and Walker said, whose ward includes University Village, said on Monday he didn't attend Saturday's meeting because he had other things to do and also believes such gatherings don't lead to meaningful progress. He says, everyone has a lot to say at these meetings, but nothing gets done. I'm moving solid these days because I get more things done and more things accomplished when I move in silence. That's why I won't go to things like this. So John Walker, we can always count on a quote from John. In this case, he feels like, and I know I haven't worked in several businesses where we had a lot of meetings, and you and I actually at the radio station, a lot of the meetings, you never really accomplish anything. You have these meetings and, you talk and nothing gets accomplished.
Right. The managers or middle managers want to be able to tell their upper management that we did this every Tuesday.
Right. So in this case, nothing concrete came out of this. So you got to give John Walker credit for that in the sense that he was correct and that nothing really relevant came out of this. They're going to have another meeting is the plan, and we're going to try to get two of the organizers on here on the podcast. But I thought it was great that John Walker just calls it the way he sees it, and just said that, I'm going to move silently and get more stuff done that way.
Yeah, and pardon this question, but can you reset for me which one is University Village? Is that that's on Hillcrest?
Right. Or it's on Annie Glidden, right? Where do they?
There are a lot of names in this town that have the word university in it.
That's true.
I was just curious.
The university has more than 500 apartments. It's privately owned. Does not say where exactly. Yeah, but that's right off Annie Glidden Road, right?
Okay. I'm thinking of suburban apartments, but that's out of the city.
Yeah.
So university.
That's a little further down. Yeah, Annie Glidden. by Hillcrest, a little close towards the
Okay.
university there. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't realize it was that big. Over 500 apartments there. Wow. And of course, that's Section 8. That's why when people in Sycamore respond, whenever they hear the word Section 8, everybody kind of freaks out because this last proposal, my understanding was that they were going to allow for some Section 8 housing, and then people in Sycamore did not want to have that. So, so I don't want to speak out of school, but that's what I heard at the last city council meeting that I went to. So, what else you got for heavier news, Dan?
Sycamore city leaders voted this week to raise its gas tax by 3 cents a gallon. It'll soon be 5 cents per. Sycamore city councilors voted by a margin of 6-2 to hike its motor fuel tax from 2 to 5. According to the ordinance, money generated from this tax can only be used to pay for road maintenance. For some perspective on this, the city of DeKalb has a 9.5 cent per gallon tax on gas. So Sycamore's new rate goes into effect on New Year's Day.
Okay. Yeah, remember that was always thing people say, "Oh, go to Sycamore because the gas is cheaper there." But now they're kind of bringing theirs up as well. And but then we got the federal, and then we got the state tax, which is ridiculous, right? I don't know how much money, like 50 cents or something for the state tax. It's something ridiculous. I know.
Yes. Yeah. And
And I don't know how many people are going to drive from one town to another to, they talk about you save, 5 cents on the gallon. You fill your tank 10, 20, 12 gallons. How much money are you saving? $1,
right.
But
Yeah.
interesting that Sycamore would do that.
I was coming home from Rockford. I had to go to Rockford, and I was in Creston. I think it was Creston. And I got gas, and it was exponentially cheaper than DeKalb.
They probably came out and did your windows too and checked your oil for that matter. DeKalb Park District, which I'm a proud employee of, came out with their 2026 budget draft prioritizing parks, facilities, and pools. Now, this is very interesting. I'm going to try to get the president on with me. DeKalb Park District proposed a $22 million fiscal budget for 2026, nearly $10 million deficit, which officials said primarily because of the funds for the new Hopkins pool. Of course, the Park Board recently took a closer look at the proposed budget, which hasn't been finalized. Executive I have to learn how to say this gentleman's name, Paul Zeppazauer. Do you know how to say it?
Zeppazauer, I believe, is correct. Yep.
Said the district would be in the black, but for the pool, which are budget expense for $10 million in the fiscal 26, he said the budget, which comes roughly to $9.9 billion deficit, is due primarily to the ongoing work at Hopkins Pool. And have you driven by there? Boy, they're really well on their way there. They're expecting to cover the deficit by pooling funds from reserves with money already earmarked from previous budgets. The district said the $9.6 million for the pool, total project for the pool, $15 to $16 million when the pool is complete. And we know, Dan, often there's, what do they call it, overrides or over where you have a $15 or $16
True.
budget and it might be 17 or 18 million. But it includes money for Haste Gym, where I work, and River Heights Golf Course. The budget includes. The Park District receives a permit from the Illinois Department of Public Health for the pool project, which officials said is still slated for completion by the summer of 2026. So excited. I'm excited to be in that pool.
But critics will tell you the maintenance year in and year out.
There you go. That reminds me when I bought my first car. I had a certain amount of money, and I was going to spend all the money on my car. And my brother goes, "Now, you have to get insurance and oil changes and things." Like, "Oh, no. You mean I can't spend every penny?" They're like, "No, maintenance. You got to pay for the maintenance."
Right.
That was a lesson learned for me. I tell you that story. I had a Datsun picked out that had flame fire on the side of the thing. It was about $5,000, and then there was a Dodge Dart powder blue, which was $3,200. But so my brother talked me into getting the Dodge Dart because the maintenance. I'm glad I did it that way. Had to drive a powder blue Dodge Dart for a couple of years, but your first car, you love it no matter what it is.
Right.
So
Right. Your brother's experience talking.
yes, right there. And what else you got? I got one last thing.
The Lombard woman seriously hurt in a one-vehicle wreck. This was on November 7th, according to the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. At around 6:30 p.m., 48-year-old Aubrey Dvorak was heading east on Perry Road near Howison Road. She drove off the road into the ditch and continued into the ditch for about 400 feet.
Ow.
Her Cadillac Escalade struck the ridge at the Howison Road intersection, became airborne, crashed, went another 340 feet. She was taken to KCH with serious injuries. She was charged with DUI, alcohol, failing to reduce speed to avoid a crash, and improper lane usage.
Wow. It must have been spectacular. That crash. My gosh. Wow.
Mercy.
So you and I were talking about the practicality of having, instead of going to a 4-year college, Kishwaukee College is offering a spring lineup. Now, I always like to play this game. Let's play this game, Dan. If you had to take a new career, and these are your choices, so this is what they're offering. Appliance repair technician, which is a great thing to know. Well, I would love to know that stuff. Dental assistant, pharmacy technician, real estate broker, pre-license. That's something I would lean towards. And then a sterile processing technician, which I wouldn't lean towards that. But I always wanted to get in I've always found real estate fascinating, but I know there's math involved. I was told to be no math, but there's math involved with that. I know, what do those jump on? Appliance repair would be great to know.
I think that would be wise. Real estate is hot and cold.
Yeah.
It can be.
Uh-huh.
Can be hot and cold. I didn't understand the sterile. What's the sterility one?
What is it? Sterile processing technician. Sterile processing technician provides support to healthcare facilities, patient care services. Technicians cleans, decontaminates, assembles, processes, stores, and sterilizes, and distributes medical devices and supplies need in patient care, especially during surgery.
Okay.
Wow.
Tough job.
That's a
there.
little much for me. Yeah, that's a very tough job. Well, God bless him. But what a practical thing to offer, you know? And you get 6 months, boom, you're going right to work.
Yeah. There's I know Kish does it. I would like to take an EMT class if I had time.
Okay.
I think that might be $1,000, maybe $2,000.
Uh-huh.
But I have a lot of kids. But even if I didn't have a lot of kids, I think it's a good skill set to have.
Oh, yeah.
To have some EMT chops.
Yeah, Charlie, who I work with over there is just a great kid, Eagle Scout, and he is an EMT. He's going to be a fireman. I forget what else he has to do. I think he's already done the hard part, the medical part, then he's still got to pass the rest of it. But yeah, really great thing to know, you know, especially you with the kids, you know, and then you're out, like your softball fan has a weekly baseball game in the summertime, and you'd be able to, God forbid, something happened to one of the kids.
Charlie, I think I know Charlie.
Vanderbleek?
Yeah.
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 Great kid.
He fixed my basketball hoop, but that's another story for another time. Yeah, he is a prince, and I know his dad, and
yeah, his dad is the one who helped get Cliff Golden on. We did one of the podcasts with Cliff Golden, leader of Troop 33 for 50 years, and he got Cliff to tell some stories about, you know, they rode down on a bicycle down a volcano in the 80s. Cliff was telling that story, and that's when none of the parents said there was no cell phones, you know. They trusted Cliff to take the kids and ride down a volcano in Hawaii back in the day. And then he was out at the breakwaters and tell some stories. All before cell phones. They trusted Cliff and the people that was with them. And just amazing story. So Troop 33, God bless them. So we have, we'll take a look at the community calendar brought to you by our friends at Stagecoach Players Theater. Coming up, we have the Christmas Carol, which is going to run December 11th through the 14th. Very popular show. And I was just talking to Tim Ball from Stagecoach. He's given us 2 tickets. So coming up on News Quiz, we'll get a chance to win tickets to go see A Christmas Carol at Stagecoach Players. Check out stagecoachplayers.com. Now, Dan, you know, when we're doing Let's Talk Turkey and Freezing for Food, I always tell Salvation Army serves all of DeKalb County. Do you realize all these are in DeKalb County? Cortland, DeKalb, obviously Genoa. But Hinckley, Kingston, Kirkland, Lee, Malta, Maple Park, Sandwich, Shabana, Salmonock, Sycamore, and Waterman are all in DeKalb County. I don't know why I thought Sandwich was not in DeKalb County.
Maple Park is half in Kane.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a good chunk of it in DeKalb County,
All right.
but there's also a good chunk of it in Kane.
Yeah, I never printed this out, so it was fascinating to see how many cities and municipalities we have. And I see there's many villages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 villages. No hamlets, though. I think there is a hamlet in Illinois somewhere. Isn't there a hamlet somewhere?
Kane, well, I don't know if Caneville is, but is that a town without a post office?
Is it what a hamlet is? I
that-
don't know what definition of a hamlet is.
Because I thought what
I
makes
always
a
wanted to
town-
live in a hamlet.
what makes a town is a post office.
Oh, okay. There you
I
go.
believe.
Northern Rehab, want to thank them again. They're helping us collect food for Freezing for Food. So if you happen to be in the Northern Rehab, they're going to collect up until December 3rd. So we thank them very much for that. Last week, we want to remind people that the Family Service Agency has taken over the new shoebox for shoes donation. So if you want to donate some shoes or you're in need of shoes, you can stop by the Family Service Agency and pick up the shoes. They're at 1325 Sycamore Road in DeKalb. Again,
Across from
the
Jewel.
Right,
Yep.
yeah. Right. Then again, that used to be the WLBK building right there. But again, get those shoes. Make sure the kids get the shoes there. And this was a DeKalb charity game. Toy Drive aims to score big for youth coming up on December 1st. It's the DeKalb Police and Fire Department against the DeKalb School District at the Huntley Middle School. That's on December 1st, 1515 South 4th Street. Bring a unwrapped brand new toy for the event. The DeKalb County Marines will be on site to collect the donations there. And want to commend Gus over there at Hy-Vee, Dan. They did a 24-hour toy drive for the Marines there in the parking lot. And really cool. I went and dropped off a toy there, talked to Marine at about 10 o'clock the first night, and then went back the following morning to talk to Gus, the guy who was running it. And the guy was still there. Two of the Marines stayed all 24 hours there.
Oh, wow.
In the parking lot in Hy-Vee. So, and of course, we'll be there coming to 4th, 5th, and 6th. But, well, Marines are just fantastic. I don't know how they ever, do you know how they ever got in with the Toys for Tots? I should have looked that up. You know a lot of stuff. Do you know how that started?
That I don't know, but it's quite admirable. I remember being at the Sandwich Fair interviewing them. They did a lot of work.
Yeah. Plus the Marines, on top of that. Plus, by the way, they served our country, and they're the first ones in, for God's sakes. Taking a quick look at sports. Now, I'm very excited. We just talked with Sycamore football coach, legendary coach, Joe Ryan. He is going to be an upcoming podcast here. And Joe's such a humble guy, but 22 years at the helm at Sycamore, all-time winningest coach in Sycamore. And it just, more importantly, the way he's guided so many young kids, to be better people. Really a great guy, and really great chance that we got to sit down and talk to Joe. And he's 56, and he was telling me he's got two sons, and they're both coaches. My nature versus nurture question. Would they be coaches if you weren't a coach? But his brother's a coach as well. But Joe said he's going to take some time and follow his kids around and get to watch them coach and be at their games, and somebody he's missed through the years. So I know a lot of people want to commend Joe Ryan, all that he's done for the community, and like I said, molding young men into be better people. So.
Wow.
Gotta like that a lot. Davon Grant is also going to be our guest next week. He'll be in a future podcast. If you know about Davon is a two-sport athlete over at DeKalb High School. Just an incredible young man. 6'4", 200-pound wide receiver. Rare combination of size, versatility, and production. Had 1,016 yards and 7 touchdowns on 67 receptions in 2024.
Wow.
Illinois first in-state pledge in 2026. Grant's committed to help anchor the top 10 recruiting class at the University of Illinois, despite offers from other Big Ten schools. He chose U of Illinois. Now look at the offers he had. These are just his top 10, Dan. Had University of Illinois, Minnesota Golden Gophers, Marshall Thundering Herd, Wisconsin Badgers, Iowa Hawkeyes, and the Akron Zips. And that's just the top schools that offered him a scholarship. So that must be a heck of a process, figuring out where you want to go to school,
True. Yeah.
And he said the visit to the campus is what put him over there, meeting the coach and two other players that are recruiting. So again, they have one of the top recruiting classes in the country right now.
Well, they were ranked earlier this year.
Yeah. So they're right then. They're 7-4 right now, so they're right there. So really looking forward to talking to the young man. And of course, he's graduating early. So student athlete. This kid is a student first, athlete second, graduating in January, and was also a star on the basketball team. Started there all. Easily could go, was recruited to play basketball as well, too. So
They could have used him last night against Alabama.
yeah, yes, they could have. Yeah. That's a good point. So again, we look forward to talking to that young man, Davon Grant. I want to thank Peter Goff over there at the high school for helping us get that organized. And of course, Angie, who's one of our faithful listeners, we talked to Coach Ryan about Brett Weaver. I believe that's her nephew. 4-year letter winner with Coach Ryan, earned all-state and all-conference honors as a senior, recorded 7 touchdowns and 154 tackles and 2 forced fumbles. And the 12-1 record that year as a junior, earned all-conference defensive team. Just a great kid. And great to talk to Coach about that. But looking forward to that in the future. But, we got some talented athletes in this area, I'll tell you.
Yeah, good luck.
And I was talking about the Neiman brothers to Coach Ryan. What do you think the percentage would be of players, high school players, that make it to the NFL? Coach Ryan's always very
Oh, boy, 3%.
How about 0.023%? Roughly speaking, there are 1,083,308 high school football players competing. Eventually, 251 will make it to the pros. After a simple calculation, we can get the percentage of student athletes going to pro is approximately 0.023%. In truth, the number is not encouraging for anyone eager for a professional football career. And that's why the fact that the two Neiman brothers, both playing professionally, and of course, Ben Neiman played in the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl. Ben Neiman was one of the players for Coach Ryan. He's going to get a chance to play in the Super Bowl, said Ryan. I think how many players in the NFL would give anything to play in the Super Bowl. And he's from Sycamore, Illinois. He said he's the best player I ever coached. And if you didn't know it, because he was just like an everyday kid. And he said he was just very humble, this very down-to-earth kid. And he came back this fall and was on the coaching staff. So imagine having a coach that was in the NFL and played in the Super Bowl. I mean, and won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
How great is that? So
Would love it.
yeah. So and his brother Nick Neiman is also in the NFL as well. So there's two players from Sycamore High School in the NFL. Wow. How cool is that? So we're looking forward to that, and we thank Coach Ryan for that. And we, like I said, we want to give DeKalb equal time too, and we're going to talk to Cole Latimer, who's going to stay in here and go to school at NIU, and he's going to go to school for both as a scholarship for both football and baseball as well. So
Really?
two-sport athlete there in college. So
Yeah.
we'll talk to Cole Latimer as well. Looking forward to that. And of course, his dad is the coach of the DeKalb baseball team as well. So another father-son duo there at Sycamore or DeKalb High School. We always like to do obituaries. And Dan, I didn't know this gentleman, Lovitz. We all know Lovitz Towing. We've heard that too. Founder of Lovitz Towing has passed away. A giant of a man, Bill Lovett. Now, when we did a show a few weeks ago, I came out of the library here where we recorded at the DeKalb Library, and of course, Finch Funeral Home was right across the way. I don't know if you saw that, but they had one of the Lovitz tow trucks, one of the giant ones, and had the American flag on there, flying at half mast.
No kidding. Okay.
Right in front of the funeral home. Just really.
A week ago. too.
Yeah, I think it was a little longer than that. But I talked to a young lady who was taking a picture, and she was a relative, and she was crying, and we just had a moment there because I put it together. Lovitz, and there's the Lovitz truck with the flag in front of the funeral home. Yeah,
What a great old DeKalb brand.
yeah,
I mean, that is an old brand.
yeah. Great article in the Daily Chronicle about him. I encourage you to check it out. What the man did, and obviously the sacrifices he made. At one point, I think they do right now, Dan. They had a deal with 88. We have a contract that we had since the 80s with the Illinois Tollway System out here on 88, where we handle all the truck crashes. Can you imagine it? And we always hear the truck crashes at 2, 3 in the morning. When the phone rings, that's all hands on deck. He said that he was proud of his great-grandchildren. Now, I guess 2 of the daughters now have taken over the business and are running the business there as well. So,
Yeah. On DeKalb's east side.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess he helped a lot of people. So, again, our thoughts and prayers are with the Lovett family, and just sounds like a great, great guy. So he will be sorely missed. And also want to mention Burton William Lee, age 95, of Sycamore High School. Sycamore High School graduated. Delivered newspapers to earn extra money. At age 15, he was sent to Uncle Charlie Lee's farm, where he graduated from La Platte High School. He attended NIU and took accounting and CPA classes. His daughter Brenda signed him up for the honor flight they recently had. He met his wife on a blind date, Catherine Kate Brand, and 2 months later, Dan, they were married in 1953.
2 months.
What do they call that? A whirlwind romance there? Now, how long were you engaged for? Were you engaged?
I think I was engaged for at least 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that one seems kind of long, I was going to say. And now let's take a look at our birthday list. And, of course, that's being brought to you by our friends at the DeKalb County History Center. Go to DeKalbCountyHistoryCenter.org, and they always send us some very interesting little bits. I want to thank our friends at the DeKalb County History Center. The winter of 1841, 1842, now, so that's 20 years before the Civil War, was one of uncommon severity. A heavy coating of snow fell on the 8th of November and remained on the ground until April 14th during the entire time. With the exception of a usual January thaw, the sleighing was excellent. The terrible winter ended in the middle of April, and the spring, bright, balmy, and beautiful, opened up at once there. 1874, that's about 10 years after the Civil War, Joseph Glidden of DeKalb received a patent for his invention of barbed wire. He developed the idea after seeing something similar at an agricultural show at DeKalb Fairgrounds near Aldgeld Hall now. In 1873, he had been producing a wire for more than a year by the time his patent was awarded. 4,000 attended the dedication of New Kishwaukee Hospital on this date in 1975, For the ribbon cutting, Mrs. Thomas Roberts, Sr., the widow of the founder of DeKalb Ag, cut the strip of gauze, so they use gauze, with special engraving scissors. Visitors then toured the acute care facility that was set to open for patients on December 27th. So there you have it. You know, I always wonder about that patent on the barbed wire, Dan. How difficult was that to enforce? I see how Glidden did it. I could just go make it on my own and sell it, right? I mean, who's there to enforce that?
I don't know, word of mouth?
Yeah, I guess word of mouth. Yeah, and then plus you manufacture it. Obviously, you could sell it at a lower cost there. But I always found that interesting that they got the patent the way they did and was able to make as much money as they did with Glidden and Heish. And of course, we're in the Heish library right now. We certainly thank Mr. Heish for not having any kids, so he gave all his money away, which kind of worked out pretty great. Yeah. All right, so we got the news quiz. You're going to lay on us here, and then we'll do a couple birthdays, and we'll wrap things up. Now, of course. You have a question for me, don't you, sir?
DeKalb City Council approved 5.
Oh, wait, now you probably want to know what these people may win. When they play.
T-Bone, what are you giving away?
Any opportunity to get called T-Bone, I got to take it. Yeah, well, we enhanced this because, again, I want to thank our friends over at Stagecoach Players Theater for the red hot tickets to A Christmas Carol. So we have 2 tickets to A Christmas Carol, which is coming December 11th through the 14th at the beautiful Stagecoach Players Theater. We have a deluxe car wash. Again, this is not a rag on a stick. This is a deluxe car wash from Ralph's Full Service Car Wash and Detail Center. They're at 1820 Mercantile Drive in Sycamore. Plus, in addition thereof, we have a gift certificate to Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more, all lumped together when you play the News Quiz Podcast quiz thing.
DeKalb City Council approved 5 farm lease agreements last week for 318 acres of property at which location in DeKalb.
All right, if you can tell us that, contact me at tdryan2001@yahoo.com. Again, email me with the correct answer, tdryan2001@yahoo.com. You can win 2 tickets to go see A Christmas Carol with Deluxe Car Wash and a Pizza Villa gift certificate. One more time with that question, Dan, please.
DeKalb City Councilors approved 5 farm lease agreements last week for 318 acres of land. Now, where is that land in DeKalb?
Or where is Waldo? Well, except where Waldo is as well, if you know where that is. Want to thank all our listeners again. Very excited to announce we've gone over 5,000 views on YouTube. Thank all the people that have supported us, all our sponsors as well. My nephews, Michael and Ethan, have helped guide us along the way here. You know, ultimately, we want to get to the point where we're videotaping that, have the videotape of the podcast and stuff, but we're slowly evolving. But want to thank all the folks that helped us along the way. We always give Dan the oak tree of the news department the final word. What do you got there, Dan?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and looking forward to freezing for food.
All right, what he said again, and that's TD
December
Ryan
4th.
Right, Unleashed News Podcast number 25. And a little bonus to News Podcast number 20. Gloria Dennison is joining us from the Stagecoach Players. Of course, just moments ago, we gave you an opportunity to win tickets to go see A Christmas Carol there by the Stagecoach Players. They're at 126 South 5th Street in DeKalb. You can always call over. Look at this, Gloria, without notes, 758-1940.
That is correct.
758-1940. You can always call over. And then when you call over, you may or may not get a live person, right, when you call?
That is true. We are staffed the week of the show from Sunday through Sunday. This is only 1 week, though.
Yeah.
1 week because we're busy. Everybody's busy during the Christmas season. And we will be there starting December 7th.
All right, very good. You know, we just had our friends in from the Salvation Army, the Commander Jim Spencer, saying they'd love to the holiday, either a movie or go to a play. It just inspires them as well. And we know a lot of people feel that way. They get nothing.
They do, yes. And we like the Christmas Carol because we should all keep Christmas in our hearts the whole year through.
Oh, okay. God bless us, everyone.
Yes.
I want to commend you guys again. You've done so much work off the Stagecoach Players. I know you did stuff during the summertime, and now you just recently had another food drive. Tell us about how you guys give back to the community the way you do.
Well, we actually have always tried to do something with the community because we are theater by the community for the community, and we're all.
Dave Lincoln said that.
Yes,
right?
of course, and we are. We are all community members. Some of us drive from farther around, but most of us are local, very local, and we like to, give back to the community that supports us and comes and sees all of our shows.
That's local, she said, not loco. I want to make sure we get that clear.
Some of us are a little
I
loco
was right.
too.
You could say that as well.
And so we do a lot of different things. We support NIU and we give to their food bank in the summertime. We do that in August. And then right now we just finished the Salvation Army for their turkey dinners and that kind of stuff. We give it, a complete meal, and that's for about $45. And we make sure that we do all the stuff, stuffing, turkey, dressing, all that kind of stuff. And now we're doing the Give Tree and the Over 55 Club, which we have a tree, and we will be doing the first two Tuesdays of December. And we have a tree that you can come over and pull off a tag. But we need those things back by the second Tuesday of December. And we also have a couple of boxes with the Toys for Tots. And some lady came over and filled 2 boxes already.
wow.
So if you want to come over, we have 3 boxes total. You can come on over and donate some gifts to Toys for Tots, with the Marines. And they
Now, is that
love
in the front lobby where you got getting? You're at 126 South 5th Street?
We do have the lobby. We have those right now. They're just in the back right now where we collect with everything that we do when we collect things. But we started big time with COVID when we were donating our
the
extra
COVID, that's when you
fabric
right.
for masks and stuff like that. And then we did all kinds of stuff. We collected, stuff for pets, for tails and all the different humane societies because, they were down on their collections and they needed, newspapers and towels and
Sure.
blankets and stuff like that. So, we did all kinds of collections.
I love it. And the Stagecoach Players, when you guys first became sponsor, I want to thank Tim Ball for working with me to do that. I kind of went on the history of the Stagecoach Players, and it's fascinating to go online and see that you actually had a stagecoach, right? That sold
Yes,
tickets. You had a
that was our box
stagecoach.
office,
I
yes.
love that, too. And then the different locations you guys were at, and then, of course, the old Stagecoach Players Theater that you had built at one point. And now here we're at now. It's amazing how you guys have evolved through the years.
Yes, it is amazing. Yeah, they were originally out on First Street, and they were out in a barn there. And
In a barn, literally in a barn.
Yes, and that, unfortunately, I do believe did not survive. And then they moved out to Barbara Green Road, and that's where we had the Stagecoach box office that was, where you could come up to the Stagecoach and buy that. That was before my time.
Okay.
And our box office out there was what looked like a little shed. And we had a tin roof out there. And when it would rain, oh, my Lord, you could not hear a thing when people were performing on the stage. But we had no heating or air conditioning. So it was very definitely an adventure. And then in 2000, we moved out to our current location, which was originally built to be a moose orphanage.
Really?
But they ran out of money. So then it just became a moose lodge for several years. And again, I wasn't here because that was 1951. I wasn't even born yet. And so it was a moose for a while. And then it was a public library for a while. And it was several other things. And then it was several churches. And we bought it from a Baptist church. And we have done a lot of work on it and made it what it is.
Oh, that's amazing. And what happened to the Stagecoach? You know what happened to the Stagecoach?
Well, I know that the doors are currently downstairs denoting dressing rooms, but I don't know what originally happened to the Stagecoach.
Well, at least you used part of it. That's great.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about A Christmas Carol. Many of us know it, too, but again, people love to see different variations of it because there's always a little variation you can put in your own. Tell us about your own spin on Christmas Carol.
I put this down as what we're going to do is go back to tradition, and we're going to walk into Charles Dickens' version of A Christmas Carol. And he wrote it as what he was doing is taking a take on the times, which he was actually writing kind of what he thought against the aristocracy because he thought that they were taking advantage of the poor people. Sadly, his dad, when he was 12, Charles Dickens' dad, was put in a workhouse with the rest of his family. Charles Dickens' dad...
We should point out they used to call them a poorhouse. It was called a poorhouse then. Yeah.
A poorhouse and a workhouse.
So if you owed money, you had to go and you had to stay there until you... But the irony is you couldn't pay it back.
Right. If you committed any kind of little crime or infraction, you were put in the workhouse, poorhouse until you worked that off, but you were never worked it off.
Right.
But he lived there with Charles Dickens' mom and his brothers and or sisters. I know his sister for sure. I don't know how many other siblings he had, but his dad died in that prison and his mom was stuck there. And so Charles Dickens went to work in a factory when he was 12. He died when he was pretty young. I think he didn't make it.
And I think he and his wife were in a terrible train accident. I remember my grandkid had one one of those small biographies of him. And
Right, yeah. He
remember
didn't
reading
live he didn't live very long.
No, yeah.
But, he was, very much against the people who took advantage of that, and he was saying that Ebenezer was representative of that, and he was just saying we should all be kinder.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm saying is we should all just be kinder.
Well, and we get that message at the end, right? We realize
We
that no matter
do.
how far we've gone, we can still come back and pull back from that.
We can all be kinder. That it doesn't matter whatever your beliefs are in life. We can all just be kinder.
And give us some of the actors now who are playing the big hitters, who are the big roles.
Stephen Meerdink is playing our Scrooge, and you know him more as a director. He's directed Cabaret, and he did Bright Star and Wizard of Oz. Those are some of the things that he's done. He's been in a few shows for us, All Shook Up, and
You were rolling there. That was pretty
I
good.
can't think of another name of it. I'm sorry. I will think it'll come to me when I least think of it. Anyway, he's been in a few shows for us, and then John Ostenberg, who is new to us, he's going to be our Marley, and then Peggy Carey is going to be our Christmas Past. Norm Reed is going to be Christmas Present. Mike Anderson, who is not necessarily new to us but has done a lot of stuff with us, is going to be our Christmas Yet to Come. Tim Ball is going to be our pawnbroker.
All right.
It's a lovely role for him. And then we have many of our people who've been in and out before. And we have a lot of our children who are coming in.
Oh, so who's playing Tiny Tim? I was going to say.
Tiny Tim is someone you don't know. One of our kids, her name it's Zoe Fieros. And just having a lot of fun with the roles. All of our kids are just having a lot of fun.
Now it's a girl playing this, so
It is.
it'll be
It is.
Tammy then? It'll be.
We had a lot of girls audition and a lot of boys come after we had auditions. I shouldn't say a lot of boys. We had 2 boys that came after auditions, and some of them just weren't, quite old enough to handle the responsibility
Right.
of that. So I wasn't sure that they could do that. But all the kids are doing really well. And one of the things that we're finding is these kids just don't understand the history. Like the girls, they're wearing their dresses and their skirts, and they're hiking up their skirts to sit down because they don't wear skirts anymore. I'm like, guys, we don't do that. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Not very ladylike, though.
And, what do you think they drank back then? Because they didn't drink the water. They didn't drink milk
that's
because
true.
it would not have been pasteurized. It would have been filled with germs. And so, they probably drank some kind of alcohol.
Wine, or I was going to say.
Yeah, so different things like that. And we discussed all kinds of things, and the kids are just, oh my goodness,
That's great.
And generally, a man would not live past about 43 years of age.
Wow. Boy,
So, we always think of Scrooge as being an older man. He probably didn't.
He really wasn't.
He
No.
probably didn't. Women didn't generally live past 50.
Wow. Now, ambiance, it could be minimalist in terms of how we create the old England there.
It is kind of minimalist. I'm creating it as a book. It's going to look kind of like a book. So that's part of it. And some very interesting things. We're just going to have some fun with it.
Okay.
And it's just going to be fun and colorful. And I think you're going to enjoy it.
Well, I think it's what people need right now. With the way the country is right now, I think
It is.
a little
I think
escapism, won't hurt.
I think that's exactly what we need. I really do.
We
and
need a little Christmas, right?
Yes.
And you're looking very dapper with your new hairdo, by the way. Wanted to mention that.
I don't know that it's all that new. I just think people just keep on going, I like the purple. I've been purple for over 10 years,
All
Terry.
right, well, I like it. Whatever,
Well, thank you.
Whatever variation that is. Again, Stagecoach Players Theater. We can always go to Stagecoach Players, right?
Right.
Online.com and find out all the stuff, not only this show, but all the shows you have coming up. And then you're always auditioning, right? When's the next auditions coming? Or you just had one?
Next, we just had auditions for Gypsy, and I know that we have our next auditions are coming up, I want to say in February for our next group of shows. And so that information should be coming up on our website pretty shortly.
Okay, stagecoachplayers.com. Or again, if you're old school like me, call over 758-1940, 758-1940. If you don't get a live person, you just tell them what show you want to see, right? And what
Right.
callback number, is that how you do it?
Yep, and we will call you back.
And then we'll call you back.
somebody will call
Old
you
school.
back.
That's it. Gloria Dennison has been our guest here from the Stagecoach Players, again talking about Christmas Carol, which is coming December 11th through the 14th. Thank you for what you do, Gloria, and then what Stagecoach has done for our community. We really
Oh,
appreciate
well,
it.
we enjoy it.
You are a community, for the community, by the community.
Yep.
What you said.
Yes, we are theater by the community, for the community. Thank you so much.
City Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Zyman, your State Farm insurance agent. Scott can help you save money bundling your home and auto insurance. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Zyman and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. For delivery or pickup, call 815-758-8116 or go to pizzavilla.com. My Insurance Guys in Sycamore, family owned, local, reliable. My Insurance Guys cover Medicare to auto and everything in between. Call us in Sycamore at 815-899-0950. My Insurance Guy, business, auto, home, life, and health at myinsuranceguy.com. And Eldercare Services of DeKalb County, safe, secure, and supported, helping you stay at home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdecalb.org.